Mober is a Manila-based tech logistics firm that pioneered green delivery in the Philippines, facilitating sustainable delivery for retail giants such as SM Appliance Center and IKEA Philippines through their fleet of electric vehicles. Dennis Nang is CEO and founder of Mober. So hello Dennis, we're very happy and very honored to have you dito sa Startup Podcast.
Thank you, Johnny. It's a pleasure. No? Maraming salamat sa pag-imbita. I'm excited to share mga experiences ko as a founder.
I'm very excited then and actually very honored nga because Mober is actually leading the electric vehicle and especially the green logistics delivery kumbaga industry in the Philippines. So I hope we can learn more about that in this conversation. Pero let's start with the first question then. So ano nga ba ang Mober?
So ang Mober, I started Mober 2015, if I'm not mistaken. Balik tayo sa 2015. Nagsimula ang Mober sa isang, I would say, failed taxi dispatching system. Yeah, I started...
Back in 2015, wow.
Yeah, so before 2015, nagsimula ang career ko sa startup is, I started the taxi dispatching, prior pa to dumating yung mga malalaking brand.
Yes.
Hindi pa nga siya Grab, Grab taxi pa siya before.
Yeah.
And there was an Easy Taxi before, So prior them coming to the Philippines, I was offering this taxi dispatching to the taxi operators. Kaya lang nga, hindi nila makita yung value ng technology before. They're very comfortable with the traditional way of operating a taxi, So dumating na tong mga malalaking ride hailing, And that time I was not privy of mga venture capitalists. Yung mga investor, wala akong alam yan because we're coming from the traditional. So nang pumasok sila, hindi na ako nagtuloy. But as an entrepreneur by heart, by passion, So naghanap din ako ng ibang problema. Kung anong meron na ako, tinik ko lang siya. At that time, as a negosyante tayo, mahirap maghanap ng delivery van, mga delivery. Yellow book pa nga, phone book pa tayo noon. So, doon ko pinipot, Doon ko pinipot yun. Then doon nagsimula ang Mober. So, in fact, Mober started as a platform wherein you can book a delivery driver to our app, di ba? But again, I pivoted Mober again into a B2B, B2C model, So, bago ako mag-discuss on a detailed one. So, balik ako kung ano ang Mober. Ang Mober now is a green tech logistic, So, we provide an electric vehicle fleet to any companies, big or small, na may kailangan sila ng sustainability campaign, yung mga carbon emission offset. So, gano'n na si Mober ngayon.
Yeah, and what I see actually, parang 2 steps yung naging advance niya from the previous taxi dispatching system. First is, ayun nga, ang taxi kasi it's more of the commuter basically sa B2C, so sa person na want to travel from one place to another, and then you pivoted it into a B2B na ang pinaprovide ng service ay mga company or business na gustong mag-transport ng malaking bagay or basically mga bagay. And then the next advance pa dito is yung pagiging green because you're actually Mober's fleet is actually electric vehicles. Now this is what I really want to know more about. First, so can we know ano nga bang electric vehicle? So what and why are you offering kumbaga the choice for companies to use EV, and ano ba advantage ng EV kumbaga sa ibang choices na vehicles out there?
So first, let's discuss about electric vehicle, So ang mga fleet natin this is 100% electric vehicle. Meaning it's not a hybrid. As in wala talaga. Talagang kuryente talaga, Ang isang ICE, we use the word ICE, internal combustion engine. Ito yung mga diesel, yung mga gasolina ng sasakyan, we call it ICE. Sa word namin sa EV, we call it ICE, ICE, So sa ICE, yung mga internal combustion engine yan, 140 something parts, Mga clutch, yung mga parts niya. So can you imagine from 100 plus to 46? So konti lang ang parts. Ang major parts ng isang EV, ng electric vehicle, yung powertrain, yan yung nagpapatakbo sa mga gulong, then the battery. So walang transmission ang EV. Abante atras lang siya. Walang gear pala, walang gear. So hindi siya yung 1 2 3
Yes,
mga
yes.
ganun din. Depende yan sa power na hapak mo,
Yes.
di ba?
Yes.
Di ba? So, yun ang electric vehicle, no? Unfortunately, ang mahal pa ng electric vehicle. Doble pa ang presyo ng electric vehicle kahit zero na yung tariff, no? The presidency, PBBM, supported this EV or green transport, no, na tinanggal niya yung mga taripa pag nag-import tayo ng EV.
I think because looking at it, EV looks simpler than I'm not sure, but it looks simpler than this previous traditional vehicles that we have. But I think the reason kung bakit mas costly pa, bakit mas mahal pa ang EVs as of now in terms of maybe manufacturing it is in terms of economies of scale. Kasi hindi pa ganun ka dami yung mga pabrika, yung mga factories, or basically yung capabilities na gumawa ng electric vehicles. So, mas mahal pa yung, kumbaga, yung paggawa sa kanya. Pero maybe in the future, if more people, if more companies, more countries even adopt EVs, maybe baka mas ma-cheapen yung cost niya in the long run. I'm not sure. I'm just saying it out there kasi mahalaga ang cost really for between like when comparing these two. So I just want to say those things out. Anyway, I do you have something to share?
Yes. Also, again, Johnny, to add to your input, no? Mahal ang EV ngayon kasi ang laki ng demand.
Okay, I
ang laki
see.
ng demand, okay? Two,
it's supply and demand actually.
Yes. Ang pinakamahal sa EV ngayon yung battery. The battery costs from 40 to 50% of the total cost ng EV.
I see.
Ganun kamahal.
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So, the reason why it's quite expensive now kasi sa lahat ng mundo, nagta-transition din sila sa EV.
Yes.
So, yung baterya ang problema kaya nagmataas pa siya, di ba? So, also, yung mga technology sa battery, nagtuloy-tuloy pa yung R&D nila kasi sa isang EV tank natin,
exactly, yes.
250 kilometers pa ang full charge, no? But eventually, by the technology, baka yung 250 maging 500, maging 1,000 na, di ba? So, kaya yun ang yun ang reason sa tingin natin na bakit mahal pa ang EV.
Yes, that's true. So R&D, if more people do research, and then actually the supply and demand nga, maybe kulang pa yung supply ng pag-produce, and then ang taas ng demand, so tataas talaga yung price nito.
Yes.
compared to the traditional na ang dami ng supply, and maybe yung demand baka mas mataas na yung supply kaysa sa demand.
Tapos surprise ka pa, Johnny, na pag gusto mong bumili ng EV ngayon, ngayon yung mga EV truck, EV vans, di ba? Usually 60 days pa ang delivery.
Yes.
Wala kang mabibili. Takes time pa eh. So may lag pa talaga.
Exactly. Let's talk about the business naman ni Mover. So you have a fleet of electric vehicles, and then you use this na yung pag-provide ng kumbaga on-demand logistics delivery. Basically pagpapadeliver ng mga gamit ng mga kumpanya. Now, if I heard it right when you introduced Mover earlier, parang ang target nyo is yung mga companies na mayroong mission to reduce carbon emissions, something like that. So, can you know more about that? Kumbaga, that first yung business ng logistics delivery, it's very big actually in the Philippines and even in the whole world. And also yung mga, kumbaga yung, we call this in the US, parang meron yung mga, they have a term for this, yung parang companies na following this environmental, social impacts, whatever. So, yeah, can you know more about that?
Yes, paano napunta si Mover sa EV, no? Nasigimula ito 2021, November, nang magbubukas ang IKEA Philippines. Isa tayo sa partner ni IKEA for the delivery, no? They requested their delivery partners, no, the logistic partners nila, na mag-EV, no? So, si Mover lang ang nag-EV. Kumbaga si Mover lang ang nag-effort na magdala ng EV, no? I mean, so, Johnny, I would say, as an entrepreneur, I would say I'm the only crazy guy who dipped into the EV, during those times. That's 2021, pandemic pa nga yun eh. So, Well, nakahanap tayo ng mga partner, nakahanap tayo ng kaibigan na pwedeng magbigay sa atin ng EV. So, we're able to give IKEA 2 EVs, no? So, 2 EV for delivery, no? That was 2021. So, ang negosyo ngayon, Johnny, sa EV, hindi lahat ng kumpanya dun pa sa EV papunta.
Yes.
Diba? Kasi, again, costly pa ang EV, no? Probably, kung gusto natin kumita ng konti at mabawi natin yung sasakyan agad-agad, mas mataas pa tayo ng by 25% versus sa mga diesel na delivery, no? However, again, I'm giving credit again to the current president, no? Si PBBM. Tinanggal nila yung color coding, number coding sa EV. Okay, so ibig sabihin, kami sa logistic, pwede kami bumiyahe ng 7 days a week. So meaning para sa amin, may isang araw kaming extra kita, di ba?
Yes.
Para mabawi namin yung kamahalan ng pagbili ng isang EV. So yan yung kuha namin. No? So you were asking, no, bakit itong mga kumpanyang to gusto mag-EV, no? Especially companies from Northern Europe, no? Yung mga Nordic na to, mga Nordic, Sweden, Switzerland, Finland. Ito talaga ang very conscious sa environment. So, like IKEA, they're from Sweden, no? Talagang gusto nila EV. There are another companies na dito sa Philippines like Decathlon, H&M, lahat to
I see. It's parang kasi like in those countries kasi like IKEA, Decathlon, H&M, they're actually from other countries. They're not our own. So they have policies maybe na nag-root pa dun sa headquarters nila kumbaga na so if they have this like environmental needs, kailangan kung nasa ang bansa man sila, they also have that. And fortunately, Mover is one of the only or the leading EV fleet provider for this kind of business. So parang nagagrab ng Mover yung opportunity na yun, nagagrab ng Mover yung pangangailangan ng mga ganong kumpanya. Is that right? Kumbaga yun yung niche na nakukuha ni Mover.
Well, yes, no. To go back to these companies in Europe, no, they're very strict sa carbon emission. Kasi tinatax sila sa carbon emission sa Europe.
Yes.
Okay, so these companies, no, they have this goal, no, net zero. No, when you say net zero 2030, net zero 2040, net zero 2050. Ibig sabihin, kung ano na i-emit ng carbon na mag-produce ng kanila, ng gamit nila, yung mga binebenta nila, dapat ma-offset yon. So, yung mga plastic na yan, yung ganun, talagang ino-offset nila.
Good.
So, ngayon, nakikita mo ang gamit nila, LED na ngayon, may mga solar panel na sila, and now they're using EV, kasi ito yung mga walang emission, no? Pero, for them to survive, kailangan din nila mag-emit ng carbon monoxide, di ba? Kasi, wala may mga raw mats talaga na kailangan na hindi natin mas-sustain pa. So, they have to do an equal para mag-net zero sila. Kasi sila doon, tinatax sila ng carbon emission.
Yes, gets.
They tax the carbon emission, no? So, kaya ganun sila, no? They're very conscious sa carbon emission.
Before I ask about that, I'm not sure like with the Philippine government kung may ganun ba tayong plano in forward. Pero I want to highlight lang na first, the reason why, the main reason maybe, or I guess why electric vehicles like have this environmental impact is it has zero, right? Zero ba carbon emissions or very reduced, very, very low compared sa mga diesel na vehicles. And I also want to ask about the cost of kumbaga yung pagpapatakbo ng vehicle, electricity compared sa fuel, sa gasolina. How does it compare ba? I mean like with the maintenance kumbaga.
Sige, so to answer, no, kung may mandate tayo sa Philippines, no, about the carbon emission, no, I think the current government they have this direction. Talagang dinirect nila, they reduce the tariff, number one. And the like of DBP, they're supporting pag nag-loan ka ng mga EV, they give you a preferential rates, no? So they're very supportive. Then at the same time, I think the Filipino government also mandating na mag-EV na rin yung mga kumpanya. At least 5% ng fleet nila mag-EV. No? So, effort from the government, nandyan siya. Then, tayo naman sa mamayang Filipino, no? Like kami sa Mover, kontrolado kasi natin ang biyahe ng mga trucks natin. So, ibig sabihin, alam natin na isang araw, 150 kilometers lang yan. So, hindi tayo namumblema sa mga charging station kasi bumabalik siya sa garahe natin, doon tayo nag-charge, right? So, ito yung mga advantage natin sa logistic, no? So, yun. Sa Philippines, wala pa tayong nakikitang kumpanya na masyadong nagmamandate ng EV. Yung Filipino companies talaga. Pero meron na towards that na. Pag nakita yung mga malls, may mga EV chargers na sila na ginagawa, because mandato na yun ng gobyerno. Dapat may charging station kayo. Pero, ang gusto natin makita, paano dumami yung mga EV sa kalsada, right?
Yes.
So, at least inuna na ng government yung minandate yung mall na maglagay kayo ng EV charging, which they are complying. So, that's good.
Speaking of these charging stations, kasi right now, syempre, alam naman natin na sobrang daming gasolinahan sa Pilipinas. So, in the future ba, do we think magiging parang equivalent yung dami ng mga, I mean, just like looking forward, magiging kasi dami ng mga gasolinahan, yung mga charging stations ng EVs, like, ganun ba yung nakikita natin?
Probably hindi pa ganun kadami, no? Pero, ang issue kasi ngayon is like, chicken and egg pa rin.
Of course.
Anong uunahin? Bibili na ba tayo ng EV? Papalitan na ba natin ng kotse ng EV natin?
Yeah.
Pero ang tanong naman doon, paano kung walang charging station sa pupunta natin? Paano tayo makakabalik, di ba? So those are the chicken and egg issue, no? There are so many, marami dyan na investor na gusto magtayo ng EV charging station. Marami dyan, iba-ibang brands, no? Pero ang problema naman nila ngayon is, kailan bibili tayo yung Pinoy ng EV? Kailan tayo mag-shift ng EV, di ba? Paano kung nag-invest ako sa maraming charging, tapos nag-depreciate naman yan, di ba? Paano na yun? So, yun ang issue, chicken and egg, no? I just give you one example from China, di ba? Sa China, ang nagtayo ng charging station sa China, Chinese government, the government did it muna. Tapos, nang maraming charging station na, nagbilihan na yung mga tao, di ba? So, yun.
So government kumbaga yung nag-force nung egg.
Yes. Tapos lumabas yung chicken, yeah. So anyway, dito sa atin, syempre, iba naman tayo sa China, no? You'll be surprised, no, na ang China government, they are subsidizing every time na bumili ka ng EV, no? Mm-hmm. Alam mo na, hinto na yung subsidy nila last December. They stopped. Because ang EV sa kanila, normal na.
Normal na, yes.
I mean, tayo naman as Filipino, abot tayo. Baby steps naman, di ba? Pakonti-konti. So, going back dito sa Mover, di ba? Your question was, Dennis, magkano ang difference ng gastos ng EV tsaka ng ICE, di ba? Sa operation. Sa maintenance, di hamak na mas mura ang EV. Mas murang-mura. Hindi kailangan mag-change oil, hindi ka kailangan yung mag-calibrate, mga spark plugs, wala yan. Diba? So, to give you one example, last year, yung isang EV namin nag 1 year anniversary na kami, nag 1 year na siya. Ang ginastos namin, 1,800 lang.
Wow.
Okay? Versus kung nagpa-change oil ka, kung diesel ka, twice a year ka mag-change oil, magkano nga abutin, diba? So, malaki ang difference. Totoo yun, no? Tapos, number 2, ang kuryente versus diesel. So, per kilometer, 2 piso lang ang gastos namin. Kung diesel ka at this rate, no, mas 10 piso per kilometer.
Wow.
So, malaki. Okay. So, everybody will think, no, ayaw kong magbigay ng misconception sa mga customer natin na magpapadeliver na pag pinuntahan natin, ay EV kayo, dapat mas mura kayo, di ba? Okay. Dito naman tayo babawi. Ang isang L300 na sasakyan, mga 900,000.
Mm-hmm.
Ang isang EV van, 2 milyon.
Yes.
Okay? So, ang isang truck, mga 1.2 million o 1.3 million, ang isang EV truck, mga 3.8 million. So, ang laki ng difference. Tapos, ang isang diesel, pwedeng umabot ng 10 taon, di ba? Ang EV, 5 taon lang yung battery. Then, kailangan mo ulit bumili ng battery. So,
battery
ganun
lang.
ka.
I mean, battery.
Pero ang battery mo, kung yung EV mo 2 million, ang battery mo 1 million. Kung 4 million yung EV mo, 2 million yung battery mo kasi malalaking battery. So, mahal ang battery. Doon sa battery nagkakatalo. Hindi to yung battery na imagine natin na yung maliliit na battery na marami. Hindi. Malaking battery talaga. So, again, sa ngayon, pwede kong masabi, kami sa Mover, no? We're trying our best, no? Napantayan yung presyo ng diesel na delivery fee tsaka sa EV. Sabi ko kanina, dahil in-exempt ng government na walang coding tayo, yung extra kita na yun sa next 5 years, at least nakakabawi tayo para mapantayan natin yung delivery fee ngayon ng mga diesel.
Yes. Actually, I mean, all of this, all of what we have discussed is actually issue siya ng basically high fixed cost and lower variable cost compared sa lower fixed cost but higher variable cost. So, I mean, nagkakatulog to like especially in the long run, pero also especially in the long run, posible pang bumaba yung fixed cost ni electric vehicles. Yung napag-usapan natin kanina, supply and demand, and they can actually push those costs down. And ang problema naman kung bakit hindi pa siya bumababa kasi onti pa yung mga gumagamit. Now, dito papasok yung chicken and egg problem na actually dito papasok yung parang need ng maybe government or some big entity in a country na mag-inject kumbaga ng policies, ng mga mandato para ma-encourage yung paggamit ito. Kasi I think win-win ang EVs. I mean, I'm not seeing as of now, I'm not seeing like the super negative kasi it has environmental impact and then maybe lower cost in the long run. So why not, diba? I mean, why not EVs?
So Johnny, the biggest hindrance ngayon is like the EV kasi is quite expensive. Na-mention ko sa'yo, diba? The capex, yung capital natin para bumili ng EV mataas. Pero yung operation cost mo mababa. Yes. Parang baliktad lang. Yes. Parang pag bumili ka ng diesel, mas mababa yung bili mo. Pero yung OPEX mo, mas mataas, diba? Mm-hmm. So, baliktad, diba? Yun nga, sa tingin ko, ang pinakamaganda, no? If personal kong opinion, pinakamagandang gawin dito is paano naging ma-maximize ang EV sa ngayon, di ba? Yeah. Unahin natin yung mga public transport na mag-EV. Kasi yan yung maraming gamit eh. You know what I mean? The more, imagine mo, 2 piso lang per kilometro ang cost mo, di ba? Pag tumakbo ka na maraming beses, mas matipid versus 10 piso per kilometro mo, di ba? So, yung mga pangmamalalayong biyahe at madamihang biyahe, mas matipid ang EV. Okay, so yun. Pero kung ikaw, galing sa bahay mo, pumunta ka ng office, di ba? Mas matipid. I mean, mas hindi pa viable. No?
True. Actually, it's true. Like, maybe in the future pa yung, may kanya-kanya tayong electric vehicle. Unahin natin yung electric vehicle, yung public transportation. Kasi totoo na baka mas bumaba pa yung pamasahe if we do that. I'm going back
yes, you're right.
Sa business model ni Mover. Can you know again yung current fleet ni Mover? If I'm not mistaken, Mover has currently the largest fleet in the Philippines. Actually, I think almost 100%, para 90+% ng EV sa Pilipinas ay hawak ni Mover. Can we just know about this? And ano ba itong mga sasakyan na to? Gaano kalaki itong mga to?
Anyway, Johnny, honestly, nakakaya aminin, no, na we have the largest fleet. Kasi ang largest na sinasabi natin dito, mga 50 units lang. No? But again, honestly, ako personally, I don't really want to brag that we have the largest. No? Kasi nga, so few. I mean, that's facts, but so few. No? Well, again, we have 50. No? We have another 30 coming by end of August. No? Mm-hmm. So hopefully, everything goes well by end of this year. May 100 tayo, di ba? So, yun ang mandato natin, di ba? So, ngayon kasi meron tayong mga diesel pa na hindi natin pag-aari, di ba? Yung mga driver partner natin. But eventually, ito transition na, di ba? So, ang objective natin by next year, end of next year, at least mga 300 units na sana si Mover. Kasi the demand is really going up, no? But again, as mentioned, pag may competition tayo, syempre magbababaan ang presyo, which I think mas healthy pag may competition. So again, pero syempre mas maganda pa rin yung serbisyo mo, hindi pwede yung presyo lang, di ba? So yun. So again, Mover has 50, then we have another 30 coming. Hopefully by year end we have 100.
Are these vehicles trucks, like big trucks or vans? Kasi I mean, I imagine yung Mover is parang helping like IKEA kumbaga transport their big furniture, their big things. So gaano kalaki itong mga vehicles na ito?
Okay. So Mover has two Mover type, no? EV type, no? Isang van siya. Parang Starex type.
Okay.
I'll send you a photo that you can share sa mga viewers mo, no? Sa mga followers mo. The other one is 6-wheeler na truck, no? So kasi 6-wheeler na truck. I mean, normal. Pag nakakita ng 6-wheeler, yun. Ang difference lang is, wala ka maririnig na ingay. Tabihan ka na ng truck, hindi mo maririnig na dyan yung truck kasi walang ingay nga ang EV, di ba? Tahimik na tahimik. Then again, sa IKEA naman kasi, ang maganda sa IKEA, ang furniture ni IKEA kasi, flat pack. We call it flat pack. Ibig sabihin, naka-flat lang siya. Tapos kayo mag-assemble.
Yes, compact.
I mean, there's idea nila naka-flat pack, i-assemble yan. Because, it's fun assembling IKEA furniture sa kaman. And the family together assembling it, yun ang mga gusto ni IKEA. No? So, hindi kailangan na masyadong malaking truck sa IKEA kasi nga naka-flat pack. No? Pero, pagdating naman sa SM Appliance Center, kailangan namin na mas mataas na vehicle kasi ang refrigerator, hindi mo pwedeng pahiga. Kasi yung free niya masisira, di ba? So, yun. Pero dalawa lang vehicle types namin. The vans and the electric trucks, yeah.
Aside from IKEA and SM Appliance Center, parang what do you imagine na parang ano pa ba ibang pwedeng i-transport? Like what kind of big companies yung pwedeng provide ni Mover ng serbisyo? Parang what do you see lang in the future na iba pang clients or even right now, what kind of companies, what kind of industries kumbaga? I mean, and is the business basically just partner a B2B partnership na Mover will become like the logistics delivery partner of that company? Is that how it works?
Okay, so I mean, in this world, no, in this time na masyadong maraming competitors, na maraming very challenging, no. So ang vision ko sa Mover is we don't compete, no. We collaborate. Ang vision ko sa Mover is like we wanna be the go-to market. Yung go-to market for the electric vehicle, no. For example, we are delivering for Nespresso. Si Nespresso, ito yung mga coffee machine, Nespresso Bullet, right? We do the delivery for Nespresso. So we have some pilot delivery, no? Ang go-to market ko, Johnny, is like, nagpa-pilot muna kami ng isang buwan kasi hindi nga, gusto kong malaman kung fit ba talagang EV kasi hindi nga fit ang EV sa lahat ng logistic. Hindi ka pwede mag-deliver from Manila to Baguio. So, we're looking for yung dito lang sa intra-city lang. No? We did a pilot test with Nestle. Nestle is a FMCG. It's a fast-moving consumer goods, right? That we also doing now. Currently, we're doing a pilot test with Mondinisin, the maker of Lucky Me, no? So, we're also doing collaboration with the big freight forwarders, no? Like, for example, Kuninagal, Siva Logistic, even FedEx. We're doing this, no? So, ang position ni Mover is, kung kailangan mo ng EV, punta ka kay Mover, kami magpo-provide sa'yo ng EV. Yeah. So that's our business model, no? We don't just focus on last mile delivery. We also do a mid-mile delivery then.
So basically, Mover really as of now, parang may napupuntahan ng mga kumpanya if they need an EV logistics delivery. But how about yung mga naglilipat ng bahay? Yung parang mga ganong needs. May ganong future ba maybe kay Mover?
So we stayed away na from that model, no. That's a C2C model, di ba? So hindi na kami masyadong nag-service, no? But again, I'm not saying na hindi pupunta doon because by the time na maging massive and may critical mass na tayo sa EV at sobrang EV na, then probably Mover will go back again to our app, di ba? Gusto mag-book ng lipat bahay na EV, kay Mover ka pumunta, no? But again sa ngayon, para sa akin, hindi pa ang EV para sa lahat, di ba? May mga segment ng industriya na yung may mga initial need, yun muna siniserve natin. Then hopefully, pag dumami ang fleet natin sa Mover at bumaba na rin ang cost ng EV, then doon na natin ilatag para sa lahat.
Yes, that's true, that's true. Ang dami ko natututunan in this conversation actually about EVs. And ang dami ko naiisip pa. I mean, it's very complex pa, especially right now na si EVs are very new in the country even, actually even in the whole world. So, ang dami pang mangyayari dito, ang dami pang changes. And I think it really matters like how the government and how the private sector responds to this technology. Let's talk first about startup stories. Startup founder stories. This is very interesting because you shared before that you have an initial startup na pivot. So can you just know maybe like some lessons that or maybe advice na you can give to our listeners about like maybe what's the greatest lesson you have learned while doing Mober along these years and even from the previous startups?
Okay, again, I just want to share not only as a startup, but of course as being a serial entrepreneur, right? Iba ako mag-isip eh. Parati outside of the box ako. Even pag nag-sales pitch ako, iba. You have to be unique, no? I mean, mahirap sabihin na maging unique. Madaling sabihin, pero mahirap gawin. Kasi, paano ka ba maging unique ngayon? Ang dami-dami nang may gumagawa, right? But again, when we said sa Mober, nag-pivot lang ako. Nakita ko may market. Usually, ang iniisip ko, parati kong natututunan to pag nag-pitch ako sa mga VC, hanapin mo muna yung problem. Ano yung problem na gusto mo i-solve? Then from that problem, isipin mo yung problema, malaki ba yung problema? At marami bang affected ng problema na yan? Pag marami siyang affected ng problema na yan, hanapan mo ng solusyon. So once na makahanap ka ng solusyon, so may market ka na. Kasi ito yung kadami yung may problema eh. Yung problemang to ang affected, right? So like before, ang problema ng mga malilit na negosyante noon, wala silang mahanap ng delivery van. Kailangan nila bumili pa, nagsisimula pa lang sa negosyo, bibili ka ng van, wala na yung capital, right? So, ang problemang sinusolve ng Mober before was, yung mga small businesses na walang mahanap na delivery van, mag-book sa Mober. So, that was our first model sa Mober, no? But again, we transition. Diba? We transition. As we move forward, may laban kasi ako usually kasi pag hindi alam natin hindi tayo mananalo sa labanan na to, urong muna tayo, hanap tayo sa laban na pwede tayong manalo, no? So that's me as an entrepreneur, no? Again, wag mawalan ng loob as a founder, no? I mean, Johnny, I don't know if you feel this same then, no, as a founder. Are you pressured mag-pitch ng mga venture capitalists to raise fund?
My answer for that is it depends on the startup actually if it really needs to raise funds. First, for high capital, I mean for like Mober, it's a need. Pero I think it's different for every startup. So anyway, yeah, that's my answer.
Okay. Sige. Because my personal knowledge, no, mga nakakita ko sa mga startup scene, no, every founders, ang nagiging focus nila, paano ako makapag-raise ng fund? Diba? Nawala na yung pundasyon na kailangan ko na may kapital bago ako magnegosyo, right? So, for the last few years, nagbago yung mindset ng mga negosyante, yung startup lalo na. May idea ako, ilabas ko yung idea, i-pitch ko sa mga investor, lalagyan ka ng pera, tapos bahala na kung maging successful o hindi, diba? So, ganun nangyayari. So, ang nakikita ko kasi ngayon, karamihan sa mga founders sa atin ngayon is like, ang focus is to raise fund. To invest and look for somebody else to raise fund, di ba? Yun ang focus. Hindi na yung produkto eh.
Mm-hmm.
Ako, na-experience ko na yan, Johnny, before early ng Mober, no, 2016, 2017. Nagpipitch ako sa Singapore sa isang venture capitalist. Nagpipitch ako about Mober, blah, blah, blah. Alam mo, hindi man lang niya ako tinignan sa mukha, hindi man lang ako tinignan sa mata. May ginagawa siya, text. Pero nagpipitch ako. Si Mober ganito, si ganito. Then, alam mo, in the middle, I realized, hindi naman siya nakikinig eh. So alam mo, politely I told the guy, I'm sorry, I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. Binaba ko yung laptop, umalis na ako. Yun ang lesson. I have this parati kong sinasabi na negosyo natin. Tayo may alam sa negosyo natin. Walang pwede magdikta sa iyo na itong negosyo mo mag-fail. Okay? So kung alam mo yung negosyo mo, passion mo, go for it. Nakuha mo? Go for it. Tapos pag in the middle na ginagawa mo na may problema, then pivot, tweak, pivot, tweak. Yun lang ang gagawin, di ba? Kasi may mga negosyante na gusto magnegosyo. I-analyze nila. Paano kikita dito? Ano ang projection, yung mga ganun, di ba? Sa akin, simple lang. Hanapin mo kung may problema. Alam mo, may market ka, go for it. Then, habang nagbebenta ka, kung may nakita ka mali, tweak, hanggang makukuha mo rin yung tamang recipe, no? Like kami sa Mover, like sa akin sa Mover, palakasan lang ng dibdib, no? I stand also corrected na kailangan namin ng malaking kapital. Ngayon lang kami nangailangan ng malaking kapital kasi bumibili na kami ng EV, no? Dati wala, may mga partner lang, no? Pero again, patatagan talaga to eh. Kung susuko, talagang sometimes iniisip ko as an entrepreneur, ba't ako nagpapakapagod, right? Nakuha mo. It's just like, when we do this EV now sa Mover, when we do the EV now, nakita ko, wala pang pumupunta. Pero, at the back of my mind, Johnny, 2 years lang to. 2 years lang, marami nang pupunta din. So, by the time, the 2 years nagpunta dito, dapat naka-establish na tayo, and we look for exit, no? When you say exit, if you don't mind, I just wanna add din, Johnny, na as a founder, pag nagtayo ka ng negosyo, dapat alam mo na anong exit mo. So meaning, tinayo mo itong negosyo mo, pinakita mo na, lumaki na, anong gusto mo mangyari? Iba-ibang mindset ng founder. Pwedeng, hindi ko na to isasara, papalaguin ko na lang, tapos ipapamana ko sa mga anak ko, right? May mga founder naman na, ito ginawa ko, pag lumaki ako ganito, ibebenta ko yung buong negosyo sa competitor ko. So, exit. When you start a company, startup, isipin mo na kung anong gusto mong exit. Diba? Yan.
I'm speechless. I want to applaud that answer. First of all, the first answer about the fundraising part. I'm very grateful that someone in this podcast really voiced this thing out. Kasi I also believe that somehow nagiging parang numbers game siya for some. Parang pataasan ng na-raise na capital in terms of the numbers. Pero do you really deliver, kumbaga, do you really solve the problem na dapat i-solve ng iyong startup? And are you really developing the product, developing the model in the way that it should be? And I also agree na, and I actually really learned a lot from that, na basically you have a problem, solve, tweak. If you need high capital, that's the time you raise funds, because that's actually the only reason why you need funds. Kasi if you have a model, then it works somehow. You just need really VC, and also let the VC come to you. Don't push yourself too much to other VCs. Pag may magpitan sarili mo sa iba, kumbaga ikaw yung habulin nila. and about the exit part, what I like about that is actually a sign na naging sustainable na yung business. It's a successful business model when you actually able to exit from that. That's actually kumbaga a manifestation na yung business ay kumbaga nag-grow mo na at nag-work na siya by itself. So it's actually kumbaga a milestone, and if ever you exit and you sell that and you gain some big money, that's a reward. Pero I think we should never let go of the idea. Kumbaga focus tayo dun sa mismong model na de-develop natin. Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to add there again, no? Tama ka, no? Kung pwede mo ma-hold at ma-bootstrap, no? Pag sinabi po natin ng bootstrap, tayo lang nagpupondo ng negosyo natin, di ba? Wala tayong investor. So, mas okay yun. Kasi kontrolado mo. As a founder, ikaw yung... In fact, I just wanna borrow this title, no? As a founder, dapat ang tawag sa'yo hindi CEO eh. Dapat ang tawag tayo si Chief Imagination Officer. CIO. Kasi ikaw yung founder, ikaw yung taga-imagine eh. Anong gusto mong gawin mo sa negosyo mo, di ba? And there's a founder in Hong Kong na ang title niya, CIO, Chief Imagination Officer, which I really, okay, kasi, di ba, as a founder, nag-imagine ka kung ano pang gusto mo sa negosyo, no? A valuable that I want to share with founders, no? I startup founders, tandaan nyo ho, sa araw na kumuha kayo ng investment, pera from the investor, di ba? Ibig sabihin nun, yan ang day one ng hard work mo. Kasi pinagkatiwala sa iyo ng pera ng ibang tao, ibig sabihin, may responsibilidad ka na ngayon na palaguin yun para maibalik. Nakuha mo? So unlike yung, kung tayo lang ang may investment, paano mo gagawa pa ba ako ng report? Sino magbabasa ng report? Ako din naman magbabasa.
Actually.
Pero again, mali yun mindset, Johnny, na wag nang gawin yung accounting, wag gawin, no? Kasi walang investor. Mali. I just want to share with you na dapat yung accounting, no? Accounting from day one, malinis. Ibig sabihin na malinis yung ni-record mo ito, kahit sa yung pera yun, i-record mo kasi aabot ka sa panahon na kailangan mo na mag-raise ng fund kasi lumalago ka, di ba? Iyan ang lahat ang hihingi sa'yo ng investor. O ano yung audited financial mo? Kahit maliit, walang problema. Kung wala kang audited financial, walang problema. Basta maliit, recorded in and out. Yun ang dapat tandaan ng lahat ng founders. Kasi sometimes, maliit pa naman. Pag malaki na, saka na ayusin. Mahirap po yun. Sakit sa ulo yun. Napagdaanan ko yun. Kasi may mga investor na pasok na. Like for example, may mga investor na gusto nang pumasok sa Mover. At kung kailangan na natin pera, sige, papasok kayo. Pero ang daming hinihingi na requirements. Ngayon lang ka maglilinis. So, linisin na sa simula pa lang. Yun ang advice ko.
Yeah, but I like that the day you get your investment money, that's the day one of your hard work. Doon pala nagsisimula actually.
Well, hindi hard work. Work harder. Kasi
work harder. Yes.
Working hard na. So ngayon may invest ka, you have to work harder. Kasi hindi na pwede, di ba? So kailangan mong palaguin at sigurado na kasi ganito lang naman, Johnny, no? For example, lumago, okay siya, at nabenta mo yung kumpanya, right? May panibago kang gagawin kasi maraming startup founder na very imaginative, magaling, susunod na investment, gagawa. May mga investor ka na. Hindi mo pinabayaan sila. So next ventures mo, nakalatag na sila, kilala ka na nila,
yes.
Hindi na hihingi sa'yo ng mga audited. Parang, pare, ilan ba kailangan mo? Sulatan na lang. Yung ang dapat alagaan natin, di ba? Huwag tayong masyadong short-sighted na, sa isang negosyo lang. Di ba? Hindi ba gaya mo? Diyan, yung mga bata pa kayo. Ako yung pinakamatandang founder. Marami pa kayong negosyong pwedeng gawin di ba? So, tandaan nyo, kung may nakuha kayong investor, ayusin yon. Tapos, mga susunod yung ventures, may mga nagtiwala na sa inyo, yun ang gamitin nyo ulit.
True. Very true. Very, very true, actually. Speaking lang about the CIO, and maybe this is our last question, Chief Imagination Officer. So, since you are the CIO, Chief Imagination Officer of Mober, ano nga ba yung para nakikita ng nating imagination or vision really, para the larger picture for Mober in the future? Maybe that's our last question.
Okay, Johnny, I have a lot of things that I want to do that are not related to Mober Ventures, no? I mean, there are so many things, so many ideas that I want to launch, nakuha mo. So, I'll put that on the side, no? But on Mober side, on the Mober side, my vision, my imagination for Mober is we want Mober to have the largest fleet of EV. Meaning yung mga malalaking kumpanya, hindi na nila kailangan mag-invest sa sariling fleet nila, di ba? What more yung mga maliliit na kumpanya para mag-invest? Ibig sabihin, if we are able to get so many EVs, no, we're helping Mother Earth, di ba? Kung gusto natin pang Miss Universe na sagot, we're helping the Mother Earth, di ba? To recover, no? Because of the emission, no? Number two, if we're able to do the critical mass and help the big company do the EV and the small company able to deliver using an EV, imagine mo yung cost, di ba? From 10 piso, naging 2 piso lang per kilometro, di ba? So, it will give a better quality life to our Filipinos, mga kababayan natin. Kasi pwede natin ibaba. Kasi ang pinakamahal, sa isang mga pinakamahal na factor is yung delivery fee. Yung logistic. Kung maibaba natin, di mas maganda ang cost of living. That's one, no, sa amin. Number two, remember, sa Mober, we will own our fleet. Ibig sabihin, when we own our fleet, we'll have an in-house driver. Diba? Hindi na kami partner driver Kasi pag partner driver, ang kausap natin yung partner driver, sa kanila lahat yun. But dito sa atin, sarili na diba? So we will create a lot of jobs, no, for the drivers here. Pero, again, may challenge din, Johnny, sa ganun. Yung mga labor code, labor law, we have to strictly comply, no? Pero, tandaan mo, we are human beings, no? May kanya-kanya tayong pag-iisip, may kanya-kanya tayong emosyon. mahirap mo idikta yung isang bagay, no? So, ang sa akin sa Mover, I wanna invest in our human resource. Because we will have a lot of drivers, no? So, that's a task, gigantic task sa akin, no? Na para, gusto ko sana yung mga driver, hindi lang nila isipin driver lang kami, no? So, dapat iba eh. Alam mo ba na ang pag-drive ng EV dyan, iba sa pag-drive ng diesel? Ang pag-drive ng EV, dapat hindi ka brake ng brake. Kahit nga sinasabi natin na ang pag-brake sa EV nagre-regenerate ng kuryente, pero pag binitawan mo ang silinyador, pag pinag-glide mo siya, nag-generate pa siya ng energy. We call it the kinetic energy. No? So, yan yung mga technology na hindi natin napag-usapan pala kanina. You might want to add, di ba? So that when you drive an EV, hindi ka preno ka ng preno. Kahit sabihin natin preno ka ng preno, nagre-recharge siya ng energy sa battery. Pero, mas gusto natin na bitawan mo yung silinyador, mag-slow down yung sasakyan, mas malaki ang regeneration ng battery.
Yes. Ang galing. Yeah. Kasi before in mechanical pagbababa basically magbibitaw na tayo, but we still go here, nagagamit pa pala yung kinetic energy for action for more energy. Very interesting.
Yes. That's our nakaligtaan natin na mabanggit. That's the regeneration. That's a regenerative function of an EV, no?
And anyway, I thank you for that very wonderful answer. I really like that answer. When I asked the vision, ang naging sagot ay hindi concrete things, exact things, but really like provide jobs, help Mother Earth, kumbaga save the environment, and kumbaga lower the cost of living for everyone. Those are very, very powerful answers. Maraming salamat, Dennis, for this conversation. I'm really very honored to have you in the podcast. This is a very inspiring and actually very, ang dami ko naiisip, parang I can still go with the conversation for like more hours, but unfortunately time na tayo. So maraming salamat, and if our listeners just want to know more about Mover, how can they find more information? Maybe they want to contact you or to the website maybe. So how can they know more?
So they just go to mover.ph website. So it goes to there. Then kung gusto nila akong matanong, they can go to my LinkedIn, di ba? Dennis Nang or Mover.ph. Mas active ako sa LinkedIn. Mas Jurassic ako sa Facebook kasi I'm hindi na ako millennial. So I'm just so afraid na baka magkamali ako. Kaya hindi ako nag-Facebook, so I just go to LinkedIn now. So anyone who wants to ask question, they can send you to you, Johnny, no? So that you can email me na lang. So I would be happy to reply anytime.
Yes. So if you have any questions or inquiries about Mover, pwedeng dumaan muna sa startup.ph and we will forward it to Mover. But anyway, I'll put those links, the website and the LinkedIn below. So maraming salamat. I'm really very happy and very honored to do this conversation, sharing, talking about Mover. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, Johnny. Maraming salamat sa opportunity. Sana may matulungan tayo mga founder. Salamat.
Marami for sure. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our 32 patrons. This episode is super powered by TechShake, Asia's most active Philippine-based startup ecosystem builder creating bridges with investors, corporations, and governments. 1 CFO, tech-enabled CFO, bookkeeping, and tax services for startups and SMEs. Take 5 Outdoors, the best guided outdoor adventure tour in the Philippines. They specialize in hiking and mountaineering trips. Benjoy's Food Products, the home of premium bacon ends, tapa, and tocino. D-Buzz, Web3 microblogging app promoting freedom of speech and content ownership. Pinoy IP Works, capture your startup's value proposition through patent and trademark protection. Pocketworks, the leading enabler and only Internet of Things social enterprise in the Philippines. Looking for buy and sell online with Sigurado sellers. And NutriCoach, the all-in-one productivity tool for dietitians and nutritionists. This episode is powered by Pareto Consulting, AltSwitch, ePlayment, Tuala, and Hive Energy PH. AskLex PH Academy is our official e-learning partner. Get certifications on Lean Six Sigma, project management, data science, and many more. Support the podcast through the links in the description.